Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist,
Brad Haney, physical therapist.
and together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet, Brad.
In our opinion, of course.
Brad, today we already just did a video on the top 3 stretches for shin splints, and maybe Nancy, can you make some reference to that? But now we're going to do the top 3 tips for shin splints. Okay, you should do the stretches, but these are also 3 tips that can help you with shin splints.
Tips for what?
Shin splints.
For what tips? Good tips, bad tips?
Good tips.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start off with tip number 1. Actually, and my son just developed shin splints, as I was mentioning in the last video, because he went from cross country to basketball. And like Brad said, you went from quite often a softer surface of running to a harder surface, and now he's doing back and forth movement, lateral movements, forward and back, jumping. So it's a lot of stress on the bones that attach to the shins. So tip number 1 is what we have him do every night. He just takes an ice pack, Brad, and I have him just stick it right in his stocking.
Oh, really?
Put it right there.
Sure.
And just pull the stocking up over it. He just does his studying, and it works great. It feels really good.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing about cold. How long?
well, I'd say about 20 minutes.
Yep. And then if you don't have any ice packs, you can go to our website. What is it called again?
Well, Nancy has one do-it-yourself on how to, it says
DIY
cold packs.
Yep.
And it's not, it shouldn't be too far from what we just have done. We did it recently.
Right.
I mean, it's probably...
Make your own cold pack, put it on.
Yeah.
Very effective.
Sometimes if it's too cold, you can put a towel or something between the surface of the ice pack. We have not found that. Usually you can put the ice pack right on.
Yeah, if you're a younger person. If you're older and you're doing it, you may want to have a little cushion on there.
Yeah. Okay. Second hint, Brad, is you want to make sure you have the right shoes and that your shoes are not wearing out.
Right.
I get shins, when I start feeling shin splints, and especially it's a good sign is when you're feeling on both sides. That means something is going wrong on both sides.
Sure.
And that means quite often it's my shoes.
Sure.
And for me, it often means it's time to get a new pair.
Right. And one thing about shoes with shin splints is often if you're a pronator or the inside of your shoe, here's my shoe that's called the inside or medial side, is collapsing or wearing out.
Let's show them what pronation is, Brad.
Yeah, okay.
Nancy, why don't you come on out? Nancy's a pronator.
If you're pronator,
What a pronator.
give her a pronator a hand.
Yeah, pronator hand.
Okay,
Okay.
so pronator is the same as being flat-footed. Yeah,
Right.
take the shoe off and let's show.
Boy,
Oh,
Nancy
nice
got this
socks.
thing tight. Okay, hold on, here we go.
Very nice socks.
Here we go.
My glasses off. Oh, good. Red
She wasn't
stripe.
even prepared for this.
Yeah,
She
and
got
look at
nice
this, the
socks.
red stripe here is in the arch, and that's where you want to focus. So this is no weight bearing, right? You got all your weight on this foot?
Yep.
Okay, can you put all your weight onto this foot, and there you go.
See how it
what
collapses?
happens? Now if you turn in this way, and that's really a pronation right there, really flatten out. Now come back up.
So the arch is just collapses.
Right, do that again, right where my finger is. Ow, she's squishing my finger. Pronation and no pronation. So you want to have support in here, so every time you walk, this or run, this doesn't happen every time. If you can imagine doing that after running 10 miles, that happens thousands of times. That stresses the muscle.
And that person is going to be at high risk for developing shin splints.
Right, and people are going to say, well, what does this have to do with the shin splints up here? And the muscle up here, the tendon goes down and attaches
there.
down
Yeah.
here. So what happens down here directly affects the forces on that muscle up here. So that's how, you know, the shin bone is connected to the ankle bone and so on and so forth. And I could keep singing that song, but
All right, Nancy, get back to work here. You're on the payroll here. Let's go.
Is that thing still going, Bob?
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay.
It's going.
The inserts in your shoes too can help, just to get a little more cushion. If you get a factory insert, they're very quite thin. You can just go to the shoe store, they almost all have them, get a little bit thicker one and get a little more cushion. They're usually about $20 or so.
Shoes generally, I think a rule of thumb, shoes generally last 300 to 500 miles if you're a runner.
Right.
So if you're going above that, you know, like my son, man, he's going through new shoes like that.
Right,
Because,
yeah.
I mean, they put in the miles.
Those kids cost you money, Bob.
Yeah, they do. All right, why did that bring this magazine? Because
Yeah.
the third tip is that you want to watch the running surfaces you're on. Obviously, if you're running on hard surfaces, it's a lot more harder on your body. It's better to try to run into the grass sometimes, or
Sure.
on softer surfaces, maybe where they got those wood chips or something.
Right, right.
The other thing is you want to watch the surface of the road and what they call the camber.
Yeah.
When you're running on the right side of the road, it's going to be angled like this. If you always run on the right side of the road, you're always putting the
that
same,
put that back up on.
you're always putting the same force on your foot.
This foot is gonna actually go to the outside, and this foot is gonna be forced to pronate.
Yeah,
So one foot will be pronating, yeah, when one will be pronating.
right, and that's bad, when you always have the same force. It's the same on running on a track. You can't run the same direction on track. Every so often, you're gonna have to switch.
Exactly.
You should do it equally.
Right.
It's very important. This alone can give you problems.
You
just
better
by
believe it.
yourself.
I know one thing we talk about surfaces, I live more in the rural area. I will always run out of the gravel where it's a little grassy and stay away from the hard surface if I can.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen runners too, that they're running down a neighborhood and they're running through people's lawns.
Yeah, or through the
Yeah.
boulevard.
So, all right, well, we're good with that, folks. 3 tips for controlling your shin splints or
Yeah,
stopping
if you're
them.
40 and over, there's no reason why you shouldn't subscribe to us, because we will give you more tips like this to keep you running for the rest of your life.
Yeah, old is gold,
You
baby.
better believe it.